Now, we love living in America, but there are just some things that grind our gears. So in no particular order, here are 10 things that annoy Brits when they're living or staying in America. The restrooms.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough to actually say the word restroom.
I don't really say, if I have to, I'll say bathroom. It doesn't make a lot of sense because there's not usually a bath in it.
No, that's right. And you don't really go to the restroom to have a rest, do you, really?
Indeed.
We all know why you go there. Even worse is some people say, do you need to go potty?
Yeah.
And they've gotten potty? Really?
Like with dogs?
Yeah, or babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
That really threw me off at first. I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
But Americans use so many euphemisms. They'll say pretty much anything before saying toilet. Because
Yeah.
in the UK you can just say, where's the toilet, where's the loo?
Where's the loo?
To refer to the actual physical thing, which makes sense. That's where you're going. That's where we all know you're going. But Americans will avoid that at all costs.
And some Americans even call toilet paper TP.
I know, how polite is that?
That's just too much, isn't it?
I know.
Come on.
Come on now. We're all friends here.
What is annoying about American public toilets is that weird gap between the door and the stall wall. If you're inside, people from outside can actually see in and see what you're up to.
Yeah, there's like an actual gap between the door and the other cubicle. Why? Why?
Well, you can't say the word toilet, but you can actually see somebody going to the toilet.
I know. Just make it a little bit bigger.
And there's always a huge gap between the stalls underneath, isn't there? There's no privacy.
No, indeed. I'm quite tall, so like I can usually see it.
Yeah, with the top. Hello.
I know, just trying not to make eye contact.
And another thing, that really annoying automatic flush.
Oh yeah.
So you're in the middle of having a wee, and suddenly there's this huge loud, because it's so loud and so forceful, isn't it?
The suction of it.
And you haven't finished.
It never ever goes off at the right time. It
No.
always goes off in the middle.
And you finish what you're doing, and there's no flush.
Nothing.
Nothing. So you have to then defeat the object and actually press the button
Yeah.
to flush it.
I know. And then you have a double flush situation.
I know.
Not very environmentally friendly.
No. The only good thing about American public toilets is you're usually quite clean.
They do keep them quite clean, which I suppose is the most important thing.
No proper pubs.
Yeah, sorry America. Your sports bars are very nice, but they're just not the same. They don't have the same historic charm, the same community feel. So much loud music and screens everywhere.
Sports playing everywhere. I know, okay, it's a sports bar, that's fine, but even in a nice restaurant bar, there's still that TV playing, at least one, playing sports. British pubs seem to have got that joviality, people are laughing and chatting, and there is, as you say, a sense of community, you know, a lot of local pubs, people know each other. And even if they don't know you, it's kind of a very friendly vibe.
And Rami Malek, 2024, anything stand out for you?
I think just getting ingrained in this culture. I've been here for a while, and you get you immediately want people take you to these grand places, and you know it's just so fancy sometimes. And I'm like, I want the pub. I want the pub culture. I want to be surrounded by that. That's the best part of the year so far, is being that, finding my local, playing darts, doing the quiz night.
No, do you do the quiz night?
I do the quiz night.
Are you good at pub quizzes?
No, I'm quite shit.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, geography is my thing, and I know when to step in, I suppose.
Yeah.
You?
I'm pretty decent with entertainment and just entertainment. Really.
Yeah.
No proper scones or scones.
What you call scones or scones, Americans, they're not proper scones, they're heavy, dense, super sugary, very dry and very tasteless, really, aren't they?
Yeah, there's no comparison. I'm sorry. This is one area where we excel as a country, and we're very proud of it.
We are, but we are going to make our own scones soon, because our lovely friend Dara from the YouTube channel Magenta Otter Travels has tested how to make various scones from recipes she's picked up, and she's now perfected the perfect scone. So we'll put a link in the description if you want to make a perfect scone like Dara.
Calling football soccer.
football is the most popular sport in the UK and really in most of the world.
Probably true.
So we really take exception to Americans calling the beautiful game soccer. It's football. It's our game. We named it. So don't mess with it.
Yeah, and by the way, your football is called American football.
God, they're going to hate us in America, aren't they? You know we're only teasing.
Only joking.
Yeah.
Call it what you want. Well, maybe don't. But not in the UK, but that's probably terrible advice.
The next one is no British banter and sarcastic sense of humour.
Yeah, I do feel like I'm constantly censoring myself because people don't always get when you're joking or taking the mickey or just being playful. They might think you're being serious. Not all the time.
No.
You know, some people definitely, especially when you get to know them, are very comfortable. But I would say definitely on those first few meetings with someone new, I feel very self-conscious about don't push it too much, you know.
Yeah, I know. I think you end up feeling in some situations like you really have to rein it in. I feel like Mrs. Beige. I feel like I'm being just so boring. Then I sort of chip in with something and think, whoops, I shouldn't have said that.
For my first few meetings with people, I tend to stick to compliments. That seems to go down very well in America. Oh, I love your flowers. Oh, your hair looks good.
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
Yeah, things you actually mean, you know.
Yeah,
just,
not insincere.
No.
But until I get to know Americans, I kind of feel like I need to.
And then it's fine.
And then it's fine.
Yeah,
they get you.
and they give it back.
They do, yeah. A lot of people think Americans don't get sarcasm at all, which I don't think is true.
And they do get irony as well, you know, so...
It's when you use it.
Yeah.
It's almost like you overstep if you use it too soon. At least that's my impression. This is one that everyone's going to think is so small, but it's such a big deal to me. It's probably my biggest challenge. In America, the dates are written back to front.
That is my biggest challenge too.
It's so hard to get my head around.
It shouldn't be, but it is.
I know, I honestly don't understand why this is so challenging, but it really is challenging. So for example, if you were writing September 10th, you'd do 10/9. But in America, it's the other way around. They'll put the month first. So it'd be 9/10 for September 9th.
And that looks like the 9th of October. I've been here, several years now, but I still can't get my head around it.
Yeah, it's very jarring and confusing.
And another thing I don't like is that Americans don't use the word fortnight.
Yes.
So you say, we do that once a fortnight. It's either twice or bi-weekly.
They would probably say I do it bi-weekly.
Yeah. And the other thing is the time. If you say it was 7:30.
7:30.
7:30 in the Norfolk accent, they don't say 7:30 or 7:30.
They definitely don't say 7:30.
Or you say 10 after or 7:45. And they don't use the 24-hour clock unless they're in the military.
Yeah, that was a big shock. I was out here giving times out in military time, as they call it, willy-nilly when I first came here. And they're like, what?
So another thing I find very strange is the weird sweetness of bread.
Yeah, I had to get a bread maker. It really is strange. Everything tastes like one of those dessert breads.
Yeah, and like if you're doing a savoury sandwich, it just tastes wrong. Two things that I have rather than the sweet bread is either those part-baked rolls.
Those are good.
The other thing is the keto bread tastes kind of more normal. Yeah, I'm going to probably make my own bread in the new year, I've decided.
Oh, okay.
Don't quote me on this.
I know. Expectations are high now.
Yeah.
I'll be checking back in with you to see how your bread making is going.
So I've said in a previous video that I'm making scones, and now I've just said I'm going to make my own bread.
It was this video you said you were making
scones. It seems such a long time ago.
The ridiculously excessive amount of ice in drinks.
The glass is over brimming with ice.
It really is. They'll fill it right up to the top and then put a little bit of liquid in.
So as a culture, we're used to being offered one melted ice cube or two at the most, if we're lucky.
If you're lucky, and be grateful for it.
Yeah. That glass full of ice that we're given, your lips almost get stuck to the glass, it's so cold.
Yes, and Americans love this. They can't get their head around the fact that British people don't really want this.
No.
Because I suppose the mindset is, they're trying to jip me out of my drink by not giving me enough. If you ordered a Coke or something, for example. I suppose everything's like free refills in America.
Yeah, free refills and like all the pours, alcoholic and non-alcoholic,
Yeah.
are just huge.
So maybe that's why they don't feel like they're being hard done by. But in the UK, you would probably feel like, oh, they're trying to water down my drink. That's the kind of mindset. And a lot of people ask for their drink without ice for that very reason.
Being asked if we're from London or, even worse, Australia.
Yeah, the assumption that nothing really exists beyond London can sometimes be a little bit annoying. There's so many other places that people can be from in the UK.
When we reply to that question, we have to say something like, we live 100 miles northeast of London, blank look, Norwich in Norfolk. About 50 odd miles north of Cambridge, some say. Next to Sandringham. Oh. So normally when we're asked a question, do you live in London? We use the more economical yes.
Yeah, and I never really considered that our accent sounded particularly Australian, but we do get asked that quite a lot. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. I like the Australian accent.
Yeah.
But we don't, to my ears, sound Australian. Here's a little clip from a video we did yonks ago, attempting to do Australian accents.
Okay, mate, half cut. Jeez, he looks half cut. Well, he looks a bit to me.
Yeah. Don't look. Dad's lost his boat smugglers in the jacuzzi. Just to prove this point.
Yeah, sorry again. Extreme air conditioning.
I do acknowledge you do need air conditioning in America. Well, especially where we live in America, here in Arizona. It would just be impossible to get by without it, especially with temperatures seeming to get hotter and hotter every year. However, it's so extreme. It's so intense.
You have to put on several layers from going outside to going inside, whether it's a restaurant, the mall,
Someone's house.
Yeah. Yeah, you just really have to layer up.
Which is really challenging because obviously it gets so hot here in the summer. You don't really want to carry all those layers with you, but you don't really, well, I mean for us, you don't really have much of a choice. It does seem like in general, big generalizations, Americans seem to run hotter than us. Yeah. They tend to feel the heat really intensely. I've had people round and they've asked if we can open a window. For me, it's just normal. Yeah. Or, you know, try and get the old ceiling fan going or something like that.
I hate the ceiling fan. I hate the noise and I hate the draft. That's what I don't. I don't like the draft of air conditioning.
And also, it feels very drying on the skin. I mean, it's dry here anyway, but it feels very drying on the skin to have the forced air all the time. So I'm constantly moisturising.
Yeah, me too. Always.
I'm very shiny all the time.
And it's not because you're hot. It's
definitely not because I'm hot.
Bloody cold.
Yeah. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give us a big thumbs up and maybe hit subscribe to see more of our videos on YouTube. We'll see you next time.